I think we're right, ladies and gentlemen. We are on. We are triple streaming, ladies and gentlemen. We are streaming on TikTok. We're streaming on X, and we are streaming on YouTube. Look, guys. What I think I'm going to have to do from now onwards, I think I can only give it half an hour on TikTok, and then I'm just going to have to turn TikTok off and go just exclusively on YouTube, exclusively on X. I keep getting the videos banned, guys. Earlier on this morning, I was doing a live stream. We were talking. I literally didn't say anything controversial, and I got a notification up saying warning, hateful speech, hateful behavior, and then I got a notification saying I've been restricted. So I'm thinking, like, what is the point in this? So, guys, look, we're going to go through this. We're going to talk about this on YouTube, and then we're going to talk about this on TikTok, and then we're going to switch over to YouTube. I'm going to do half an hour on TikTok, and then we'll move over where I can talk a little bit more freely, because all it seems that the algorithm wants you to do is literally like do dances and stuff. And unfortunately, guys, I don't think the internet's ready for me dancing. I mean, I tried it a few times. I'm not going to lie. Literally, I did a dance on the internet. Literally, that same day, the internet went down, guys. I don't know if these things are connected. I'm just saying, correlation is not causation, but if the cap fits, wear it. Right, guys, listen, I know you guys are have been paying attention to this. So the missing girls. So there were 2 missing girls, age 14. Now, I'm hearing, let me see if I've got the link. Now, lots of people are saying that these girls have been found safe and well. Let me just jump on here and see if I did ask. Again, I have to when I'm sifting through media. Oh, hang on. When I'm sifting through media, I have to be very careful on what I say. So let me just. I think I've got the message here. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Right. Okay. Right. Give me a second, guys. Hang on. I've just got the message through. Hang on, guys. So, so I think the girls are found. So I've just been sent a link to where these girls have been found. So I'm just opening this up, guys. I'm just opening this link up. Give me a second. So the news of the day, guys. The girls that had gone missing last night or this morning, as I understand it, they have been found. No, it won't let me log on because I don't have Facebook. Right, I'm hearing it, guys. On quite a few people are saying now that the girls have been found. But look, guys, I went down a rabbit hole here. Not something I would normally go down. You guys know me. I'm tanks, bombs, geopolitics, government movements, crop circles, aliens, all over that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to missing children, I was shocked and horrified how many reports of, I was shocked how many reports of missing children there are in the United Kingdom. And I don't know if they correlate with children being found. Now, in this case, so there was 2 girls that went missing, excuse me. So there were 2 girls that went missing this earlier, I think yesterday, 2 girls that went missing in Doncaster. Now, those girls, as I understand it, guys, those girls have been found and they're safe and well with their family. The amount of missing people, missing girls, missing children that are reported every year in the United Kingdom, guys, it's absolutely unbelievable, guys. It really is. I couldn't believe the amount of people that were talking about that, guys. It's unbelievable. Right, let me jump up and get some comments, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, in fact. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone? How is everyone this Wednesday afternoon? This Wednesday evening, I guess. John is saying TikTok is rotten. It's a very peculiar app, TikTok, guys. It's a very peculiar app. Guys, listen, you guys that are commenting on YouTube, I'm going to come over to YouTube in a second, guys. I'm going to come over to, I'm going to jump over to YouTube in a second. Tucker Sean is saying, evening, Sean, evening to you, buddy. James is saying, Sean's back, hoorah! Welcome back at last, saying Scottish Sonia. Here, Scottish Sonia, right? Was you in the middle of that wee storm right then, boy? Because I know I was. Like, I was laid there in that storm thinking, how are people supposed to go about their business with this storm? It was like rain, wind, rain, wind. The wind had let up, and then you'd be like, no, that's only 10 seconds. The rain's back. The rain, not Lorraine. And it was just absolutely unbelievable, guys. The storm, we was in the middle of it. We was camping. The tent, it was that windy. The tent actually got tuck in the wind and it rolled us back. I had to hold my daughter. She went up about 4 feet in the air and we rolled back. Stuff everywhere, guys. It was unbelievable, the storm. The amount of people that went out camping in that storm, it was phenomenal. Like the amount of tents and just stuff we found slung all over the place. It was unbelievable. But yeah, Scottish Sonia, how did you cope in the storm? Are you like, here, you call that a wee storm? You should have been here with Storm Haggis in 1982. That was a real storm before they even named them storms. Kaz is saying, hey all to you, Kaz. Guys, I'm going to jump down. I've got the chat open. I have. Dodsbra, right, hang on, what's Dodsbra saying? Dodsbra is saying, I'm worried that what I'm reading about, terrorists being in hotels and plans to, whoa, right, hang on. Oh, right, guys, right. Ladies and gentlemen, look, guys, we are on TikTok. We are on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. We are on TikTok. But can you guys be careful what you're saying in the comments because the algorithm is an absolute swizzle, all right? We're going to give it half an hour on TikTok and then we're going to jump over to YouTube, guys. Louise Webb, I'm just going to pin this. Louise Webb is saying, hi, Raven, have you heard about the planned attacks on kids in primary schools? I mean, no, I've not. And you know what, guys? When people say this, I think, no, that can't be right. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's 2025. We're in the United Kingdom, the summer of carnage. I'm not taking anything off the cards. Which I guess which ties in here with what Dodsbra's saying. I'm worried what I'm reading about terrorists being in hotels and plans to always involving children, isn't it, guys? These big tough guys. Like, guys, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything that could get my live stream banned. All I'm gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm for equality and diversity and happiness, and the world should. Can't we just get cars that run on rainbow? Can't we just get cars that run on rainbow dust? Where are the rainbow dust cars, guys? Where are the rainbow dust cars? So yeah, we will be talking about that when we jump over to YouTube, guys. We're talking about that when we jump over to YouTube. Right, Grumbling Grunts has read that too. Right, I'm gonna have to hang on, I'm gonna have to Google this, guys, and let me I'm just Googling what you've said there, guys. I'm not interested. Right, I can't find anything, guys. Can somebody tell me where we can find that? Yeah, guys, can people tell me where you're reading that? And I will talk about that when we jump over. It's on X right, okay, guys, look, we have to, okay, so Joshua Harrison here is taking, okay, guys, look, I have to be very careful on what I repeat. If it's something on X look, and this is how it works. On the TikTok algorithm, and again, this changes daily, guys, okay, this changes daily. On the TikTok let me take that down. I don't even want to look at that. On the TikTok algorithm, if I do a video, for example, saying X, Y, and Z has just happened, right? And it has just happened. So let's just say I get a phone call from one of my friends in Ukraine, and they say, Sean, look, X, Y, and Z has literally just happened. Here's the photos. If I do a video about that saying X, Y, and Z has just happened in Ukraine, that video will get flagged as fake news. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works. The only way I can repeat these things is if a mainstream media outlet is repeating it. Now, I think it has to be 2 mainstream media outlets reporting this. But to be honest, guys, if I can find one mainstream media that's reporting this, what I'll do is I'll say, this news outlet is reporting this. So this is why sometimes I go on really obscure news outlets, because I know it's true. And I'm trying to find something that I can collaborate what I'm saying. But that's how it works, guys. That's how it works, guys. Right, I'm just reading these comments here, guys. It's on. Right, ladies and gentlemen, look, guys, we all know. Right, guys, look, okay, let's be clear. Let me be quite clear. We all know this is fact. This is fact. Nobody's denying this, all right? We know. Let's just, you know what, guys, look. There's certain things I can and cannot say, guys, okay? There's certain things I can and cannot say. What I can say, guys, is this. We know that schools are vulnerable. We know that. We know that with 100% certainty. Schools are vulnerable, you know. We know that. We also know, and I'm having to be very careful with my wording, ladies and gentlemen, because I am on TikTok. We will be changing over to YouTube shortly. We know that schools are vulnerable, right? It's just the way they are. Nobody thinks about, like, you know, you send your kids to school and you hope you're going to see them on the way back. In fact, let me get this up, guys. I don't want to get, let me get this up. Let me give it a second. So we know that. We also know from Robert Jenrick on GB News a couple of days ago, like I shared it with you. I think it was yesterday, actually. I shared it with you this morning. We also know from Robert Jenrick, who is an elected minister in the United Kingdom. He's a member of parliament in the United Kingdom. We also know from Robert Jenrick that he's claiming, not me, guys, I'm not claiming this. I'm not claiming this. I've got no opinion. I think everybody is kind and equal and they all want love and happiness in their life, right? I'm just saying what Robert Jenrick said. Robert Jenrick is saying that there is a potential that bad people have come over in boats. That's what he's saying. Not me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying that for TikTok. I'm not saying that. I am all about peace, love, harmony, flowers, mineral water, stuff like that, guys. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. We know that those two things. Now, if you want to connect those two things, so if you're a bad guy now, so if you're a bad guy, and if you guys think they're bad guys here or not, that is totally up to you. I don't think there are any bad guys. While I'm streaming on TikTok, guys, I don't think there are any bad guys. I think everybody's good. I think everybody is good. I think we need peace, love, flowers, unity, diversity, which is our strength. Which is our strength, guys. I think it's our strength. Anyway, but look, guys, you guys know where I'm going. You guys know where I'm going. I don't want to get the live stream banned. I do want to keep my TikTok account, guys. I really do. It gets the message out to more people. So yeah, if we put those two things together there, the softness of certain targets and the willingness to act of other people, if you put those together and say those things come into contact, you can understand what could potentially happen. I think it's a likelihood, and if I was, and I guess I am still a security, I'm your personal, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your personal security advisor. Like, you guys have got your own personal security advisor. That's pretty cool. So if I was a security advisor and somebody was to say to me, Sean, where is a likely strike point for human collateral? I would say in the morning when kids are going to school or when they're leaving school. It's a massive target, guys, and it's impossible to, you know, and it's impossible to police all those areas. And we saw this like a couple of months ago. Was it a couple? I think it was a couple of months ago. There was an incident in Sheffield. A boy tragically lost his life. A boy tragically transcended to a beam of light in Sheffield. I've got to be careful with my wording, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'll be switching over to YouTube and I'll say whatever I want. After that, there were lots of reports of people phoning up schools and making threats. This is on the mainstream, guys. This is on the mainstream. Now, tell me this. How many schools are near roads? How fast can cars drive on roads? You know, there's lots of ways that this can happen. And look, guys, we're moving into this new world at the moment. We're moving into this new world where, oh, hang on, I've just been sent a link here on... I've just been sent a link on, right, guys, I've just been sent a link on YouTube. But let me just get this up. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. I just need to be very careful what I'm talking about because I don't want to get the live stream banned. Give me a second, guys. I'll jump this up. Active Patriot I need to find. Active. Right, okay. Right, guys, look, there's a post out by Active Patriot. Now, I'm just reading through this, guys. I'm going to read through this, but I'm going to miss out keywords, okay, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to read this and I'm going to miss out keywords. Attack alert. Soldiers are in hotels and HMOs ready for a nationwide attack. Right, I've not read this before, guys. I've not read this before. UK infant and primary schools, they are going to remove... Wow. Right, guys, look. I've received information from the Pakistani community in Dewsbury that can't speak Afghanistani. That can speak Afghanistani, sorry. So straight away, guys, look, guys, I'm just being objective here. The language in Afghan is Pashto. So straight away, I'm questioning this. I'm questioning why there's no language called Afghanistani. The main spoken language in Afghanistan is Pashto, guys. All right. So look, guys, I'm just being objective. It's common knowledge in their community that there are some people staying in the asylum hotels and HMOs that are the bad people and talk on the streets amongst them that they are ready to strike and are waiting from a nod from higher up. The first thing they are planning is an attack on smaller infants and primaries, we'll just say. I'm just going to say infants and primaries. Removing something. They want a shock tactic. Yes, look, guys, I agree with that. People in that part of the world, they do shock tactics very well. Do you know what they're really good at? I'm not going to say what they're really good at because that will get the live stream banned. But you know what? As soon as we jump over to YouTube, I'll be telling you all about that. So the first thing they want a shock tactic to bring something really bad and wage war on our country. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, guys, but look, I have to go back to the first instance. The language in Afghanistan's Pashto. I'm just saying, guys, I'm not saying it's not credible. All I'm saying is I'm reading this for the first time. They're not quoting a source. They're not quoting a source, guys, okay? And this is from yesterday. The government have been planning emergency responses at schools across the country and updated their schools and college security guidelines in July last year. Is this a response to the intelligence they've received? Why are they not telling us about this serious threat? Why hasn't the alerts they're being raised. This is a national security threat to our children. Something needs to be done now. Okay, guys, look, I don't know what this profile page is. I really don't, guys. I don't know what this profile page is. I'm just reading this for the first time. As soon as I read, I can't speak Afghanistani, it lacks, can speak Afghanistani. There's no such language as Afghanistani, guys. Seriously. The main spoken language, and I speak a little Pashto myself, the main language in Afghanistan is Pashto. I don't know. Am I going to get banned for saying that? Am I going to get banned for saying the main language? No, I've not got banned yet. I'm still on, guys. I'm still on. But for how long? It's like, hang on. I'm going to ask the magical crystal ball how long before I'm banned again? How long before Ravens Live is banned? All right, on the side. Can't see it. Hang on. There we are. Right. Indications say yes. That's not even an answer to the question. But yeah, so guys, look, we've got to be careful about these things we read. I'm not saying that this post from the 5th of August by Active Patriot, I'm not saying it's false. I get given a lot of information that turns out to be true, and you have to sift through it. So I don't know, guys. I'm just reading what it says there. I am just reading what it says there. Right, let me jump back up because we have got 7 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 7 minutes left, and then we are going. 7 minutes left, and then we are going to YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. 7 minutes left. Andy B is saying, and as of September, they are taking phones off children so they cannot contact anyone. Yeah. So I don't know where I stand with this, guys. I don't think kids should be playing on their phones in schools. But equally, like, realistically, ladies and gentlemen, like, if something was to happen to your school, do you know what? I need to be careful what I'm saying here. You know what? I think I can say this, right? Realistically, if something was to happen, who, like, to your school, who do you think could get there quicker? Mums and dads jumping over the fence that are absolutely fearless and will protect their children at all costs, or the police who are going to put a cordon in? They're going to call for armed response. They're going to call for military response. They're going to call for someone else. Like, who would you want there quicker? I know what guys, look, I don't want to get the live flagged. But I'm just saying, you know, if I was a kid, I'm sure, you know what, guys, I'm pretty sure that our girls would rather me jumping, like, literally somersaulting over that fence and jumping through the window than any police officers taking 3-4 hours to get there and then cordoning off the area. The afters are saying, what are your thoughts on the online safety? I think it's fabulous. I think we should have more restriction. I think everybody's messages, like anybody who's like, look, guys, my thoughts on the online safety bill are this. If you're not happy with the government reading your messages, sifting through your WhatsApp messages, sifting through your Signal messages, sifting through your text messages, if you're not happy with that, then you're clearly racist. You are. That's my thoughts on that, guys. And I'm all for equality. So I'm all for letting the government read my messages. I am, guys. I am. But when we jump over to YouTube, I'll talk about that a little bit more. The afters is saying, yeah, look, guys, look, I'm really having to water myself down here because it's we're on the TikTok. The afters is also saying the police will never be prepared if something kicks off. Yeah, I agree. There are pro-Palestine marches this weekend, and they've said that they're going to come out. Excuse me. They've said that they're going to come out in the thousands to overwhelm the police. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I've done this at every level in the United Kingdom. Not every level, I've done this at pretty much the highest levels that you can get to in the United Kingdom. Certainly overseas, I've done that at the highest level you can. In the United Kingdom, the numbers that we're talking about right now, in fact, guys, where's that guy gone? You know the guy with the tattoos on his face? The biker guy, where's he gone? What's he doing now? Is he still posted online? Like, does somebody know where he's gone? And I'm not calling him out. I'm not calling him a charlatan. I'm not saying he's taken anybody's money and ran. All I'm asking, guys, is where is he? Where is he and his gang? I don't know. I don't want to throw dirt on those guys. I really don't. I really don't want to throw dirt on those guys because I genuinely believe they wanted to do something good. But like, where have they gone? Literally, guys, where have those guys gone? Sorry, I digress. Where was I going? Yeah, the police. The numbers involved here, ladies and gentlemen, with the police, even with reinforcements from the military, guys, okay? Even with reinforcements for the military, they don't have the numbers. We're talking now about masses of civil unrest in the United Kingdom, the likes we have never seen before. The police do not have the numbers. They don't. I've seen this with my own eyes, guys. I was there in Sheffield when there was an incident in Sheffield. They closed off the streets. It's just how policing works now. You can't police like that. You've got to police hard and fast. It's not a thing anymore, guys. Okay, they don't. The police, the military, they don't have the numbers, guys. That is the reality. It's a funny old world is saying he took the money and ran. Look, guys, I don't know if he did or not. All I know is that there was some guy with tattoos on his face asking everybody. There was a guy with tattoos on his face asking everybody to donate like $50 or whatever it was. And I was just saying, right, guys, like, be careful because like. The numbers here that are involved, like what are they going to achieve with £50? Sorry, guys, too much work international. It's a funny old world. Not me. I'm not saying this, guys, because I am all peace, love, unicorns. Can't we all just link arms by a campfire, eating marshmallows, saying "Come by our"? Can't we all just do that? And JTTJ is saying Tommy Robinson has been arrested. Few offences this week. Police at Luton Airport. LH is saying, Raven, would you serve and protect again if we was under attack? I mean, I am doing that right now. That's what I'm doing, guys. Look, right now, I'm protecting and serving right now, guys. I'm giving you guys information that's not out there in the mainstream. I'm giving you guys expert opinions on how to secure yourself, how to secure your property, what to do if you find yourself in one of these hostile, chaotic situations, how to act, how to react, how to protect your family. And realistically, I don't think they could afford me, to be honest. And I don't think they'd want me on their team. I'd have to be in charge of everything. And I don't think there's probably somebody that's more of a yes man that would be in charge to do that. The Afters is saying, I hate to bring up the World Economic Forum, but looks like, am I banned yet? I hate to bring up the World Economic Forum, but it looks like Starmer's being a good dog. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? He's certainly clicking all the buttons. Right, let me jump down, guys. Let me jump down. Dave is saying, evening. Is his name, Gaz is saying, is his name Chris? I don't know if his name's Chris Hargreaves. Cotto, my friend, we are going to be talking about this on YouTube, guys. When I jump over to YouTube, we're going to be talking about this. Cotto, that is one of the things I've got on my YouTube. I've literally got global events, summer madness, and aliens. So, Cotto, my friend, you are in for a treat. I'm going to be talking about that later on when we jump over to YouTube. I do need to keep checking that I'm not banned, guys. I do. I need to keep checking that I'm not banned. Linda Lou is saying, pro-Palestine have asked all the Muslim community in Birmingham to come out Saturday as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before these people clash. Once they've clashed, everybody's going to be pointing the fingers. Summer of carnage. It is going to be an absolute swizzle, guys. It's going to be a swizzle. I think they're using right, Kaz. All right, okay. So Kaz is saying, I think they're using different platforms. Look, ladies and gentlemen, right? I don't mean to. I'm not throwing. Yeah, guys, we've got to be very careful. We have got to be very careful what we say on TikTok. We have guys. Look, ladies and gentlemen, like these guys who, you know, the bikers with the tattoos on their face. Look, guys. I'll weigh in real quick what I think happened. I will. I'll wait and I'll tell you what I think happened, and then we'll go over to YouTube. I think they started off with good intentions. They started a little movement, a little grassroots movement, and they got traction. Now, like anything, ladies and gentlemen, like anything, you need money. You do, guys. Like, you know, everybody needs money. You need money for an organization to function. I get it. I do. Unless you're sat here and I've got my own money and I can give you the lowdown, and I'm sat here and I do 2 hours, I do 2 hours a day, and I give you as much information as I can, and then it's up to you guys what you do with that information. It's costing me nothing, guys, okay? It's costing me nothing to give you this information. So with this group, I don't know what they were called, like the biker patrols, or I don't know what they're called, guys, the biker patrols or something. When they start asking for subscriptions and asking for donations, you're like, right, okay, fair enough, they need money. But as soon as you open that Rubicon, then you get people trying to jump on board, people thinking, I can make a couple of quid here. And then those people who've started that organization, once they take that money, they're left in a very difficult position then. They're left in a position which would be similar to, right, okay, I either continue taking this guy's money and go the direction that he or she wants me to go, or I stop taking that money, the organization fails, but at least I can go the direction I want to go. So as soon as you start taking other people's money, guys, and I don't know if this happened behind the scenes, but as soon as that happens, things go bad very quickly. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this time and time again. The solutions to your problems come from within, and they really do, guys. And we're talking about local problems, finding local solutions for local problems. Epping is a perfect example of this, guys. Epping is a perfect example. When people mobilize, people come together, things can happen. The thing I'll say real quick before we jump over to YouTube, guys. If those people in Epping had have gone down, like all those people in Epping, if they'd have gone down to London and had a big protest outside Parliament, do you think they'd have the same kind of response that they've actually had now? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So that's the question, guys, all right? Do we think if the people in Epping had have gone down to London en masse, do we think that they would have had the same effect that they have by protesting locally? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to jump over to YouTube now, because hang on. Oh, so I'll just leave this here above James. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to jump over to YouTube now, guys. I'm sorry I'm cutting this short. Guys. It's just the algorithm absolutely swizzles me down on YouTube, on TikTok, guys, okay? I can't say anything. I get the live banned all the time. I want to keep the TikTok platform, guys. I really do. I don't want to get banned. But I've had so many live streams banned. I was literally back on today and I was on my best behavior. And even this, I got a restriction. So, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys on TikTok, the world is fine. Everyone's happy. All I eat rainbow dust. I'll be turning it off now, guys, and I'll be jumping over to YouTube where we can talk of a little bit more of an open discussion. But I will be back tomorrow morning, guys. I will be back tomorrow morning. I'll give a similar sort of landscape tomorrow morning where we talk initially, where we start initially with YouTube, with all streaming, and then we'll just jump over to YouTube and X, where I can talk more freely, guys, because it's really difficult. It's really difficult having to like not voice any type of opinions, guys. It really is. But anyway, I'll be jumping over to YouTube, guys. I'll see you there. Are we off? Are we? Yes, we're off. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I can talk a little bit more freely now. Now we're not rendered with that crazy algorithm. So, ladies and gentlemen, crazy things happening this summer. This Friday, so what is it? Is it tomorrow, Friday? No, the 8th. So, I don't know what we are now, the 6th. So, Wednesday, Thursday, the day after tomorrow. Protests are planned all over the country, en masse, and I mean like thousands. We have got the pro-Palestine marches, so we're talking about global events now. Global events, I believe, are going to be in the media. This weekend is Ukraine. I've not changed my mind, guys. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about this. So let me just give you a holistic overview of what's happening in the United Kingdom and how I think that is going to be not dictated. What's happening in the United Kingdom and how global events are going to come into play in the United Kingdom. So this weekend, the United Kingdom, thousands of protests are planned, whether that's pro-Palestine, anti-immigration, protect our girls, stand up to racism, whatever that is, whatever flavor you are, that's what's happening this weekend, guys. And I do think that this weekend, it's the biggest planned anyway. And again, that kind of doesn't really mean anything. The metric there doesn't mean anything. All it means is that there's a lot planned. So the police are going to be on the back foot regardless. So this weekend, Friday, that is happening. So what better way to take over so people, when we're all looking at our phones, like scrolling and watching people live streaming from different events, what better distraction to have a global event? Because then you're not streaming what's happening on the live stream in Epping. You're like, wow, look what's happening in Ukraine. Wow, look what's happening there. Oh my God, I can't believe that's happening. Now, couple of reasons I'm saying this Friday. It all comes down to Donald Trump's visit to Scotland. When Donald Trump came to visit Scotland, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week, whenever it was, last week. Last week. He left on Wednesday. I think he left on Wednesday. So a week ago today, Donald Trump left. Normally, now I'm not speculating here, this is what happens. Literally go back and look when a military advance happens, when a military move happens, when something big happens geopolitically between two countries, it normally happens. And guys, there's no argument here. There's no argument here saying, oh, but Sean, there's no argument. It normally happens the Friday after those guys have met. So consider the scene now, ladies and gentlemen, right? When Donald Trump came to the United Kingdom, came to Scotland, he was met by Keir Starmer. That's what we all saw. Behind the scenes, there will have been an entourage. Now, in that entourage, they will have had somebody. I don't know what these roles will be. The roles are irrelevant, but they will have had somebody, Special Forces Operations Director, Ukraine, Eastern Europe Operations Director, Air Assets Eastern Europe, Military Coordination Europe. Like, those people will have met. When Donald Trump and when Donald Trump was talking to Keir Starmer, behind the scenes, those people behind closed doors, they'll be agreeing on things, on what's going to happen, how things are going to move, what assets are in place, attachments and detachments are in place, what can happen, what's likely to happen, and the likely enemy response. That will have been happening behind closed doors. Now, the delay, why it wasn't last Friday, the reason why it wasn't what happened last Friday is because it would have taken these things. You can't do these things online. You can't send a message to someone. Well, you can, but it's never successful. You need face to face. So the person that was in that brief, so that was in that brief with the Americans, he will have then had to get on a flight to Krakow. You know, I don't even know. Poland, I'm assuming. I'm speculating now, guys. I don't know where he flew to. He will have flown from the United Kingdom to Eastern Europe somewhere. He will have then taken a road move into Kiev. Now, he will have either then from Kiev been pushed out to the front line where he can speak to the guys, or he would have briefed them in Kiev. I don't know which one would have worked. It's going to be time management. You can argue it will be quicker to bring the guys from the front, the commanders from the front line back. While he's coming to Kiev, they come back to Kiev, they meet in Kiev, then they go. But then they've got to get back to the front because these things these commands and these orders, these briefs, you have to be face to face, guys. You have to do these face to face. Or he can come out to Kiev, go out to the front line, brief them, and come back. I don't think you're going to really save much time doing it either way. I don't think you're going to save much time. Now, that will have had to happen. So that ruled out last Friday. Look, guys, I might be wrong. I don't care. I might be wrong, but my information and my analysis is right. The data points are right. So that rules out last Friday because the time from when Donald Trump left on Wednesday, that doesn't give those guys enough time to get out to Ukraine, brief the guys on the front line, and come up with an understanding of what's going to happen. So that leaves this Friday as the earliest. That's this Friday, guys. Okay, the 8th of the 8th. It's kind of an esoteric number if you're into numerology. I don't know if you are, and I'm not into these things, guys. All right, people say to me, they're like, Sean, are you some kind of mumbo jumbo? Why do you read tarot cards? I say, I don't read tarot cards. I just can read them. I know what each tarot card means. I know that it means something different if it's upside down to if it's the right way around. I know that, in conjunction with other cards, the different meanings, but I don't put any spectre into that. I just know what those cards mean as per the definitions that you get in the little booklet. Anyway, sorry guys, I digress. So that's the amount of time that's going to take. So that leaves us to this Friday. It does. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. If you think those timelines don't add up, tell me in the comments. So that leaves us to this Friday. All the protests that are planned for this Friday, what a better way to take people's attention away from the protests than to have a mass geopolitical move involving Ukraine. Ukraine needs to come back on the cards, guys. It really does. We've been focusing on the Middle East for quite a while. The situation in Ukraine, it's not gone away. It's literally got worse. Yes, it's got worse since Donald Trump said he was gonna close the conflict down in 24 hours. Since that happened, they've actually had almost double the amount of attacks that they had per annum the last year. For example, I read a statistic, June. Yeah, June. In June, there was more drone attacks than the previous year combined. So I don't know how that's bringing an end to the war in Ukraine, but I don't know. Maybe it is somewhere. Right, guys, I'm going to jump up and get the comments. Wow, so many comments. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Can you guys do me a real big favor? Like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, all the rest of the things that help this channel grow, guys, because ultimately, it's only a matter of time before I get banned and I am totally off TikTok. And every time I get banned, I'm like, why do I even bother with this thing? Right, guys, I'm just gonna jump up and get these comments. Right. Lisa Jane is saying, I read tarot cards. James Brogrant, we're all talking about tarot cards. Right, guys, look, I'm not a tarot card reader. Stop, right? Okay, I watch Sherlock Holmes Is it Game of Shadows? And like, look, guys, I love Sherlock Holmes movies. Robert Downey Jr. He goes into this meeting with this woman. I can't remember her name. He goes into this meeting with this woman, and she starts to read him his tarot cards, and he says, "Mind if I read them?" And he reads her. I just thought that is so cool. Like, I would love to. So I was bored, and I just read and memorized what each one meant. Right, hang on, guys. B is saying, "Hello, Raven. Do you think we need armed security on school grounds to protect our children?" I want to say no, because who would be like? First of all, like, what do we mean armed? And no, I don't think we need armed security. I don't think we need armed security on schools. The thing there would be who, like. Let's just go with it. Let's just say we put armed security on school grounds. Who's to say who those people are? Who pays for that? Who pays for the insurance? Who pays for the upkeep of the firearms? It just doesn't seem to me to be a good idea. What I think if I was to advise a school what to do, I would say put two teachers on each entry point when kids are coming in and when kids are leaving. That's it. That's literally it. 2 teachers. That's all you can do. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We want a brigade. We want an expeditionary brigade surrounding our school with tanks and guns and aircraft and helicopters. And that would be safe. Realistically, the resources don't allow that. I think the best case scenario is 2 teachers on every access and egress point. That's realistically, that's all you can do. When we used to drop the girls off at primary school, I always used to when we used to drop the girls off at primary school, I always used to think, just in my head, I always used to sit there and think, right, anybody could walk into that school right now. Anybody could walk into that school unchecked. And that's the terrifying thing, guys, all right? Nobody thinks bad. Like, your head teacher at a primary school is not thinking or even considering, because they're all woke, aren't they? They're all woke, and they're all peace and love and rainbows, and we're going to look after your children by educating them correct. Do you know what? Educate that guy when he's coming in with the big long sharp thing. Go and educate him real quick. Tell me how quickly you can educate that person. As he's coming in right quickly there, go educate that person. What are you going to say to him real quick? You've got 1 sentence to educate him, because you've probably got 5 to 10 seconds before it all goes wrong. How good of a teacher are you? I mean, do they think they're like Dan Brown or something? Darren Brown, sorry. So no, I don't think that's wise, because then who are you going to have as those armed securities? Vinny Holmes from TikTok, thank you so much for jumping over, buddy. Potts in here is saying, what do you think will happen at the protests on the 13th of September? Nothing. Nothing will happen at these big protests. Nothing will happen at these big protests, guys. The things that will happen are going to be at local level, when 50 kids, 50 kids get together, they go to a hotel because they're feeling a bit leery, they start throwing bottles, and I'm not saying that should happen, I'm saying that that's what's going to happen. Those inhabitants of that hotel come out, defend themselves, and then it's all going to go wrong from there on. That's where I think it's going to happen. These big, these big protests that are planned, they're very heavily policed. The routes are well defined. Everybody knows what's happening. There's going to be a lot of flag waving. There's going to be a lot of chanting. I think that's going to be it, guys. I might be wrong, but on a whole, I think that's what's going to happen. Right, let me jump down, ladies and gentlemen. Joshua Harrison is saying, what's your thoughts about the alien craft? Yes, the alien craft coming, guys. The alien craft. We've got to talk about the alien craft. Right. Alien craft on its way, guys. So, right, where do we go? First of all, let's just talk about this UFO space first. UFO, UAPs. Look, guys, I want to believe more than anyone. I do. I want to believe more than anyone. I really do. I've not seen the evidence. I've not seen the evidence. When I was younger, you know, and I didn't understand how the military would prefer you to think it was some sort of alien craft, then actually something that the military have. There's a UFO incident called Pentridge UFO or something. It's called the Pentridge UFO incident or something. There's lots of videos on YouTube about I think Pentridge. It's in South Wales, basically. Now, I know what that was, and I know what that was, guys, with 100% certainty. I know what that UFO incident was. And I can say with 100%, like nothing, there's no doubt in my mind. I can tell you guys that was not a UFO. What I can tell you is that was a Special Forces training exercise. Oh, but Sean, that's what they always tell us. That's what the government would always want you to believe if they wanted you. No, really, that's what it is. You know, I've done quite a few of those exercises myself. It's called Exercise Chameleon. Look, guys, and what I'm telling you now, this is all in the mainstream media. This is all readily available. You can Google this yourself. I'm not going to say anything that's sensitive. So Exercise Chameleon, it's a special forces exercise. Basically, they run it once a year. It's a special type of exercise where you go from the black roll to the green roll and from the green roll to the black roll. That's what it is. Now, a few of the things that were said on that Pentridge UFO, about the Pentridge UFO, you've got this woman and she's saying, like, they're using AWACS surveillance planes and they're circling around in a very tight pattern. They were searching for something. And like, I'm thinking, no, because foot and mouth was about that year, they had to do it close to a certain base and a certain location because they weren't allowed to move that far because of foot and mouth. And that tight holding pattern that AWACS plane was moving on was because of the proximity to Cardiff Airport. So, tick in the box. She then talks about, this woman, she says, and the helicopter, it was just hovering there, not moving. It was searching for something on the ground. And green lasers started to shoot down out of the back. And I'm thinking, no, they're not green lasers shooting out of the back. That's literally guys fast roping out of the back, holding onto the rope, coming down. For safety reasons, when you're on exercise, you know those green glow things? You have to put them in the back of your helmet because obviously if you fall, hurt yourself, it's hard to find you at night time. So it's just for safety. And like everything that they talk about in that UFO incident, I can like debunk it straight away. Straight away, I can debunk it, guys. Also, at that time, at that location, there was something called a DARA, Defense Aeronautical Research, or might be Defense Advanced DARA. It was something like Defense Aeronautics Research Advancements or something like that. Right there, literally, where that potential UFO incident was, literally right there, guys. That was where and there was a lot of strange stuff that happened on that Dara building. A lot of it's all closed down now. It's you can Google it. It's called Bro Taffin Industrial Estate now. You can go and Google it. So I know all this was happening behind the scenes, guys. So I know that this wasn't happening. So when people talk about UFOs, UAPs, when people are talking about the UFOs and the UAPs in New Jersey, I totally debunked that. I told you guys what it was. That doesn't mean to say that I don't think these things are real, which I do. I think it's a mathematical certainty that there is intelligent life out there. Now, have intelligent life got into little metal 3D printed spaceships that look like flying saucers and traverse the realms of space and time to come to Earth? I don't know. I don't know. I think, first of all, I think if our understanding of physics that nothing travels faster than the speed of light, and yes, I get with an Alcubierre drive, you can potentially bend space time, and rather than traveling through space time, you move space time. It takes a lot of energy. There's physics. I do believe there's physics we don't know. I do believe that there's things in alternate dimensions, but I just thought I'd throw that out there, guys, before we go on to answering this question. The question is, what do I think about the alien craft coming to Earth in November? Well, funnily enough, I've got a little article here to share with you guys. Scientists want to send a spacecraft to intercept the mysterious interstellar object racing towards our solar system, amid fears it could be an alien probe. Okay? Right, so a few things that are strange about this. We call it, what is it? 3I Atlas. So third interstellar discovered by Atlas. So this thing that's heading towards Earth right now, guys, it's supposed to be here. Halloween time, guys. It's coming in Halloween when the veil between worlds is the thinnest. And look, guys, I don't know if you believe in that, but a lot of people say that the veil between realms is thinnest in Halloween. What better time for the veil to be pierced than in Halloween? I'm just leaving that out there, guys. I'm just putting that out there. So the thing that's strange about this, a couple of things that are strange about this asteroid, or whatever it is. I don't know whether it's an asteroid. I don't know what it is. So first of all, the speed, the actual speed of this thing's moving. Now, this thing's moving, as I understand it, at 58 kilometers a second, which is ridiculously fast, even for interstellar, even for space object, guys. So it's going very fast. Now, the plane of its trajectory is equal to the Earth's orbit around the sun. So if the Earth's orbiting around the sun like this, the thing's coming in on the same plane. So it's coming in on the same plane, more or less at the equator, I guess. Now, the other thing that's interesting is when it reaches its perihelion. Is it perihelion? I think it's perihelion. When it's at its closest to Earth, I guess. It's not perihelion. That's when it's at its closest to Earth. It's going to be at the other side of the sun, so we won't be able to see it. So if this thing that's coming towards Earth, that's going to be in our solar system, well, it is in our solar system. It's going to get its closest point. Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. When the veil is thin, it's going to be directly at the other side of the sun from the Earth, so we won't be able to see what's going on. We won't be able to see what's going on. So if, and I'm not saying they're gonna, but if they were to leave or detach or leave craft there, that would be a perfect time to leave those craft, and then leave them in an orbital lock with Earth, so we never actually see what's there, because essentially we don't know what's on the other side of the sun that's in orbital lock with us, because we can't see it. So yeah, there's a lot of strange things happening. Also, guys, the other asteroid that's on its way, Apophis, that's the scary one, guys, because Apophis is going to come close to Earth Friday the 13th, April 2029. It's going to come that close to Earth. It's going to be going underneath satellites. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we're told it's safe. So, you know, we've been told it's safe. I hope I answered that question for you. James is saying, Joanne is saying, hopefully they'll take me with them, the aliens. James Brooke is saying, Europe is collapsing, there's no doubt. Yeah, Europe is on the way down, and this is what makes a war, a global war of an industrial scale, that's what makes it more likely. Like a good way to impose whatever you want on people, just bang out a war. Literally, bang out a war. You can pull in all sorts of laws, all sorts of legislation, and you get the public on side. You get the public behind you. Why? Well, you know what? Would I rather have Keir Starmer than Putin? Yeah, I would. I'd rather. That's a massive statement. I would rather have liberal Western democracy than Russian capitalism, or Russian socialism. Rocketman Gaming is saying it's safe until they start farming us. Yeah, look, guys, like, again, so when people think like the only, let's just say this, right? People, the only thing that's on Earth, the only thing that is on Earth that is not in mass abundances elsewhere in the universe that we know of, certainly in the solar system, is life. And something that's very specific to our planet is humans. So if aliens did come here and people say, oh, they're coming here for gold, they're coming here for water, they might be here for silver. No. Stop. All those things are easily available on asteroids, on comets, on other planets that you can just go and mine. You don't have to worry about the pesky humans that are forming a rebellion. The thing that we have on this planet are humans. So I would say humans have a more likely, there's more likelihood that humans are farmed and taken as a resource, a resource than, than gold or silver or whatever. James is saying we never went to the moon. 3 times Buzz Aldrin admitted it. It's on YouTube. Watch it. Yeah, I've seen all those things, guys. Space doesn't exist. We've never left low Earth orbit. Look at Von Braun's grave inscription. So, yeah. So I mean, we're talking about. Okay. So I think I don't know if it's inscription, but I think it was Neil Armstrong, not Wernher von Braun. So I think it was Neil Armstrong who said something like, so Neil Armstrong did very few. And look, guys, let me just weigh in on this. Did we go? Did you? Well, I didn't go. And you know what? The British didn't go. The Russians didn't go. The Chinese didn't go. The Americans went, allegedly, right? Allegedly, the Americans went. Now, when I talk about, oh, hang on, guys, I've got something on the chart. Give me a second. So Neil Armstrong, when he came back from allegedly, so let me weigh in on this. So this is the way I've normally thought about this. This is the way my brain has normally gone with this, guys. So when people say we didn't go, nobody went to the moon, it's fake, it was all filmed by Stanley Kubrick in a lab or whatever, I say, right, okay, stop. At that time, Russia and America were like right in the middle of the Cold War. They were having some real good Cold War stuff. That was happening. And if the Americans didn't go to the moon, the Russians had the capacity to track, to authenticate, to know if they went to the moon or not. They did. That's the reality. That is the reality. The Russians will have radar, tracking systems, and they will have known whether that ship went to the moon or not, and they would have been able to tell. So I always say, right, okay, as absurd, like, have you, like, guys, look, let me try and find it on YouTube, in fact. Let me try and find this on YouTube. Let me, just give me a second, guys. Let me try and find this on YouTube. Yeah, here we are, guys. Right, guys, just watch this because it's absurd. It's absurd. Give me a second. All right, let me make this big. Give me a second, guys. This, honestly, so like, hang on, I need to make that small and I need to make it big again. Right, so when people say, Sean, in fact, let me tell you, Sean, have you seen this? And I'm like, yeah, I get those arguments. I do. I get these arguments. You just watch this, guys, because this is hilarious. This is hilarious. Right, so this is the, what is it? I think it's Apollo 17, this one. Is it? What is it? I think it is. Right, just watch. Yeah, Apollo 17 liftoff from the moon. Just watch this, guys. Just watch this. And tell me, does this look like something on a piece of string being winched up really quickly? I mean, come on, guys. Really? I mean, it even wobbles when it gets to the. I mean, what is that? Are we really saying that is real? I don't know what I'm expecting, guys. Obviously, I don't know what I'm expecting. I've not seen, I've never been to the moon, but I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm expecting, really. That to me just looks like somebody's been winched up. Anyway, so I understand all these arguments, guys. I do. I understand all these arguments. I've always said, if the moon landing was faked, the Russians were in on it. And I can't see that. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Right now, I'm seeing more collaboration and more one world government and more unity between like things happening in unison than ever before. I mean, Vladimir Putin, I think he's already introduced his cryptocurrency, like they're coming onto universal. I think they're going to be into universal basic income. The same things are happening all over the world. They're just like in unison. These things are happening. So I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying now. I used to give the argument. If the moon landing was fake, then the Russians, would have been in on it. And I didn't get that. James is saying, how can you zoom with a 2-second time delay on that? I think the time delay is more from the moon. I do. I think there's ways around getting that camera to move up. There's ways around it. But to me, it just doesn't look right. Look, guys, I'm not saying I've got the answers, guys. I just think it's, I just think it's weird. Also, what's happening now as far as the moon's concerned, people are talking about a new space race where the Americans and the Chinese are both trying to put a nuclear reactor on the moon. What I'm seeing with that is space weapons, guys. I really am. I'm seeing lasers fired from the moon to hit Earth. That's what I'm seeing, guys. I see that as the new weapon system. Weaponizing the moon, putting a massive laser on the moon whereby you can use your nuclear power plant to power your laser and then fire that thing down on Earth, literally like the iron cannon in Command and Conquer. Sean, what about the Van Allen radiation belts, though? So the Van Allen radiation belts, look, guys, I'm not an expert on this. I don't even know that they exist. First of all, we don't know that they exist. But from my understanding, the Van Allen radiation belts come out like this. They go around, up and down. So if you exit Earth through the North Pole or through the South Pole, I think that's what you do, and I think you'll be safe doing that. But yeah, radiation is a big problem in space, guys. And Debbie Doobs is saying there isn't a photo of Earth in its entirety. Sure, I'm sure there is, Debbie Doobs. I'm sure. What's that thing? Is it the Voyager? Is it Voyager 1 or Voyager 2? I think it's Voyager 2. I'm sure Voyager 2 sent some things back. Rocky Man Gaming is saying, I heard in 2007 we sent a nuke to a base on the moon that was found and it didn't damage it. Don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true either. James is saying the Bible talks about the filament. It's unbreakable. It's water up there. Oh, I don't even know what this is. And Debbie Doobs is saying, I argue with my husband over this. What are we talking about, Debbie Doobs? What do you argue with your husband over? I argue with people all the time about this. Look, guys, let me be clear again. There's a lot of talk at the moment about aliens, about UFOs, about all this stuff, and I debunk a lot of it. I do. I sit here and I debunk a lot of it. There's still a lot that I can't debunk. In fact, can you guys, I don't know if you guys were, like, again, I do these videos, I do the technical videos, and the technical videos, they don't really get much, people don't really get, like, for example, if I say to you guys, the way you make a vacuum balloon, you take a, and start talking about vacuum balloons, nobody's interested. But if I say, alien spotted off Manchester Airport, like and follow and I'll tell you more. Like if I do the YouTube thing, like you get more views and stuff. So when I do the technical stuff, I don't get that many, they kind of get swept aside. But the Tic Tac UFO, remember that Tic Tac UFO? It does seem to me like that was a vacuum balloon. I don't know if you guys can remember me doing videos on vacuum balloons. I know I've definitely done it on YouTube, whereby you would use you would use an aerogel, put aerogel into a vacuum, cover it with a substrate, and there you have your vacuum balloon. All right, Debbie was talking about the moon landings. We all live under the dome. We're all living under the dome, guys. We're all living under the dome. I've watched it on the TV, so it's true. Sean, what about it? We've done that. Yeah, Tracy Doll here. I've actually got a video of that. So Tracy Doll is saying Mexico is one of the countries that warned their people not to come.
5,000 murders a year. They are ranked number 3 on the criminality index worldwide. This is one of the most dangerous countries in the world, warning its citizens about coming to this country. What has happened? Successive governments, Conservatives and Labour, are letting us down. They're letting this country go to ruin, and no one is doing anything about it. At the end of the day, in London, knife crime is up 58% in 3 years. There is a phone theft every 6 minutes in London. There is a rape reported every hour. Say that again, a rape reported every hour in London. Our women and our children have been put at risk by 2 governments over the last 20 years. Something needs to change. Something needs to happen. And guess what the authorities do? London is in such a bad place and is run so badly that we knight the mayor. He's got a knighthood. Can someone make sense of this, please? Someone.
So it does look like there's desperation now in the United Kingdom. It does look like there's desperation in Europe. We've absolutely destroyed ourselves, guys, as a nation, as an empire. It's difficult to watch. It's painful to watch. We are in the United Kingdom. We are literally a laughingstock now, like an international laughingstock. We really are. It's unbelievable to watch. A good way to deal with all this, ladies and gentlemen, a good way to deal with all this is to have a good old-fashioned WW3. That usually sorts things out. Carolina Ritchie saying, I saw that thing about Mexico issuing a warning. Not sure how much truth there is to it. No, apparently it's legit, guys. It could be a silly thing made up by some. No, guys, apparently it's legit. Mexicans are warning. The Mexicans are warning. What's the Mexican accent? I can't even do a Mexican accent. What would you? Yo, don't go to London. Hey, guys. Don't go to London. They say those guys are loco. I don't want to go to London. I want to go to no London. I don't know. Maybe that's how the Mexicans talk. I don't know. I don't want to offend any Mexicans. James Brooke is saying, us NASA nerds know when they used a camera and when they used a film camera on the last Apollo 2 mission. 2 astronauts played golf taken by a third person with a camera. Fact, only 2 men moon at a time. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, James, I don't know enough about that to be able to comment. I don't claim to be an expert in cameras. I don't know enough about it. NASA knows a camera. I don't know. Can you not take like video on still cameras? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Rocketman Gaming is saying, say we have WW3, who protects our women and children from sleeper cells while we are forced to fight? Do you know what, Rocket Man Gaming? Nobody. I guess that's the answer. Nobody. We would have to, we'd have to. The analogy I gave yesterday. The analogy I gave yesterday, which I think is a good analogy. The analogy I gave yesterday was: can you imagine, like right now in the United Kingdom, where you look down your street, say, I don't know, say you live at number 50 or whatever. You look down your street and at number 1, it's a long street. You look down, you're mowing the lawn, just say you're mowing the lawn. And you look down the street and at number 1, 4 Toyota Hiluxes pull up with guys dressed how you know they're dressed, waving black flags. They go into number 1, there's a load of banging, screaming, shouting in languages you don't understand, and then loads of screaming, and then they move to house number 2. Loads of banging, screaming, shouting, then everything goes quiet. They move to house number 3. So you're like, wow. So you phone the police up. Yeah, I'd like to report a crime. Oh, what's the crime? Well, and you tell them what's happening. The police go, oh, can you confirm anything bad's happened to anyone? And you're like, well, no, but I can, it's pretty obvious what's happening. Oh, well, unless you can confirm that a crime is being committed, you'll have to phone 101. Oh, right, okay, 101. You see where I'm going with this? And then, or even if you do see a crime's committed, the police would take that long to respond, and their advice to you would be literally this, guys. This is the police response. This is the advice that the police would give you. Lock your doors and windows and stay inside. And you're watching them next door, I don't know, they're up to number 30 now. You guys know what's happening. They're going door to door. And at what point does it become legal for you to defend yourself? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, guys. I really don't know the answer. I would speculate that a lot of people in the United Kingdom would literally just sit there, guys. People would just sit there, lock their doors and windows, and when they come, just say, oh, yeah, guess the police didn't get to me at this time. But yeah, I unfortunately, I don't have an answer. They plan video calls now. They plan video calls. I don't know what that means. Jane Taylor is saying they plan video calls. I don't know what that means. Are we talking about the police planning video calls? Is that what we're talking about? I don't know. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. You guys have been fantastic. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, I think, at 10. Really difficult for me to hold my breath. It's really difficult for me to hold my tongue when I'm on TikTok. You guys have seen how many times I get, you guys have seen how much I get banned and restricted, and oh, it's just an absolute swizzle, guys. It's an absolute swizzle. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be going now. I'll be back on tomorrow morning about 10. Remember, global events. I'm predicting this Friday we're going to see some sort of movement. I'm predicting it's going to be Ukraine. I might be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I might be wrong. But if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter because the data is pointing to that direction. On the aliens front, I don't know what to make of it, guys. I really don't know what to make of it. All sorts of crazy stuff happening. The asteroid that's on its way here, Three Eye Atlas, it's peculiar to say the least. The one that I would say people should be worried about is the one that's getting here in 2029. Oh, but Sean, 2029 is a long way away. It's not that long away. That one comes ridiculously close to Earth, uncomfortably close to Earth, guys. Absolutely uncomfortably close to Earth. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the morning. And what does Keith Lemon say? If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. I'll see you later, guys.